Are you aware that giving birth in Canada automatically makes your child a Canadian citizen? So, if you're a pregnant woman whose desire is to give birth in Canada and you meet all the requirements, you'll be issued this type of temporary visa. If we were to take a sample opinion on the types of Canadian visas, you'll be amazed how ignorant people are as regards the types of Canadian visas. This explains why most intending immigrants fall prey to settling for Canadian visas that are most unsuitable for their purpose of traveling. Hello, welcome to yet another amazing episode on Canada Migrates. At the end of this video, you will find out what Canadian visas are, the various types of Canadian visas, as well as a thorough application guide for each of them. Meanwhile, if you're a first-time viewer, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you for always watching. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, kindly click the subscribe button below and the notification icon to get notified anytime we publish a new video. Before we proceed, I think it is ideal we understand what a visa is. A visa is simply a stamp on one's passport which allows the holder of the passport entry into the designated country. For you to have a Canadian visa, it means that the Canadian embassy or consulate in your home country has considered you eligible and you have fulfilled the requirements for entry. Who needs a Canadian visa? If you're a foreign national from any of the countries that do not have a visa exemption or electronic travel authorization agreement with Canada, popularly known as ETA, you definitely need a visa to enter Canada. Also, it is important for you to note that before applying for a visa, you are expected to choose the one that best suits your motive and purpose of traveling to Canada. Take a look at the types of Canadian visas. 1. Temporary Canadian visas. This type of visa allows the holder to stay in Canada for a specific period of time, and the time duration is determined by the consulate or border officer. However, the maximum stay at a time is 6 months. Furthermore, this type of visa can either be a single or multi-entry visa. The difference between the both is that the single entry visa allows you to enter Canada just once and live in the country for a maximum of 6 months, after which you are expected to leave Canada. And if you want to enter Canada again, you are required to apply again. On the other hand, the multi-entry visa allows you to enter Canada multiple times and stay for a maximum of 6 months until the visa expires. Types of temporary Canadian visas. 1. Diplomatic or official visa. As the name implies, this type of visa gives permission to diplomats or officials from foreign countries to enter Canada for official purposes only. 2. Canada Tourist Visa. It is a type of visa issued to people visiting Canada for tourism. 3. Canadian Super Visa. It is issued to parents or grandparents of either Canadian permanent residents or citizens to enable them visit their children or grandchildren for an extended period of time. Number 4 on our list is Courtesy Visa. This type of visa is issued to people who are of importance due to their rank and position and do not qualify for diplomatic or official visa. 5. Canadian Business Visa. If you are going to Canada for business purposes, you will be issued a Canadian Business Visa. It can be issued to either an individual or a group of business people. 6. Visa to give birth in Canada. First, are you aware that giving birth in Canada automatically makes your child a Canadian citizen? So, if you're a pregnant woman whose desire is to give birth in Canada and you meet all the requirements, you'll be issued this type of temporary visa. 7. Canada Facilitation Visa. It is issued to Canadian citizens with dual nationalities who do not have a Canadian passport but hold a passport of another country. 8. Canadian Student Visa. This is a visa issued to students with more than 6 months study program in Canada. However, if your academic program is less than 6 months, don't worry. You'll be issued a TRV instead, which means a temporary resident visa. 9. Canadian Temporary Work Visa. This type of visa is issued to people with a valid job offer within Canada and will work for more than 6 months. 10. Working Holiday Visa. It is issued randomly to young people from 30 countries and they are allowed to work in Canada. Before we proceed to the next type of visas, have you subscribed to our YouTube channel? If your answer is no, kindly click the subscribe button below and turn on the notification icon to get notified anytime we publish a new video. Having looked at temporary Canadian visa, let's take a look at the second type of visa, which is permanent Canadian visas. The permanent Canadian visas, also known as immigrant visas, are visas that allow its holder to permanently live in Canada. There are different types of permanent visas, and they include 1. Startup visa program. This type of visa is issued to those who want to contribute to the economic growth of Canada. However, to be eligible for this type of visa, your net worth should be at least 300,000 Canadian dollars, and you must own and manage 1/3 of Canadian business and maintain employment for at least 3 years. 2. Self-employed visa. If you have a skill in any business or farming, you can be issued this visa to start your own business in Canada. However, you are required to demonstrate how you intend financing your business and prove your skills in this business. 3. Family sponsorship visa. This type of visa allows Canadian citizens or permanent resident spouses, common law partners, or dependent children to permanently immigrate to Canada. 4. Live-in caregiver visa. Caregivers who are qualified to care for those with disability, elderly, and children are issued this type of visa to live in a private home in Canada. At the beginning of this video, recall that we promised to walk you through the Canadian visa application guide. But before we proceed, note that your visa application process depends on the type of visa you are applying for. That being said, the general steps necessary for your application process include: Step 1. Check out your eligibility status. Step 2. If you are eligible, create an online profile or account. Step 3. Compile the document file. Step 4. Pay the application fee. Step 5. Wait for the processing of your Canadian visa. Step 6. Submit your passport as well as the processing fee and biometric fee. Please, these fees depend on the type of visa you are applying for, and note that they are non-refundable. Moreover, Canadian visa application must be done in a Canadian embassy or visa application center responsible for your jurisdiction. And if your application is rejected, you can reapply as long as your rejection letter does not forbid you from reapplying. Finally, the processing time for visas differ depending on the type of visa you are applying for again. It usually takes between 2 weeks to 4 weeks for a visa to be processed. This is all we have for you as regards types of Canadian visas. But before we call it a wrap, subscribe to our channel. If you haven't, click the subscribe button below and turn on the notification icon to get notified anytime we upload a new video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to share your thoughts with us in the comment section. See you next time. Bye for now.